Hey, what's up? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Long time no see, no talk to. It is I, Chauncey Craig Woodson, and welcome to Chauncey Vision. I've revised it. It's no longer Chauncey and Chat Live. It is now Chauncey Vision. A little more simpler, same old stuff, same old energy. Here to have lots of fun talking about all the movie and TV ish that we watch, know and love. And tonight we're going to do a good one in commemoration of the reboot and return of Chauncey Vision. I'm here with one of my very best friends, and we talk about all the movie and TV issues as much as we can. Everything from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, etc. And I always refer to this man as the Underground Blurred King of Chicago, or one of them at least. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Corey Green, what's happening, bro?
Hey everyone, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man? So, hey, man, we, kicked off our weekend pretty well. We got the chance to check out the sequel to the very much anticipated Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, before we get into it, if you could tell me what memories did you have about, checking out Doctor Strange, character in itself?
First I get this off my chest. I was mad our theater was quiet the entire movie. So we do this right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is I'm sorry, by the way, folks, this is spoiler review. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, probably don't have no business watching this video.
Yeah.
But well, after we say what we're gonna say, don't say you weren't warned. So there we go. But
yeah, I had to get this off my chest, because I was kind of annoyed. I feel as a church mouse that most of the time I'm kind of like, guys, wake up, react something. Like they played Danny Elfman played the X-Men theme when Professor X came out. Professor X came out in the yellow wheelchair.
Yeah.
Crickets. Cricket, Chauncey. Cricket.
I don't know what to say about that, man.
I don't want to be rude black dude in the theater and get us kicked out.
Hey, it was a whole bunch of us in there like that, but I guess everybody's anticipation level it varies. I guess
all those characters was out there. No one said nothing. Like we had Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Thanks you two for spoiling it for me, you two people with thumbnails. Looking at y'all on YouTube, we had Black Bolt. We had, which I did not expect at all.
Right. In the actual outfit, by the way.
In the actual outfit, looked great.
Right.
We had Captain Carter, which I knew she was from the trailers they showed. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Monica's mother as Captain Marvel.
Maria Rambeau. Yeah.
Maria Rambeau, yeah.
The original Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
From back in where we grew up in 70s, 80s, or what have you.
Yeah, well, she led an Avengers team.
Exactly. Some people fail to forget that.
So, yeah, man. I have to get off my chest. But as far as the movie is concerned, I thought the movie is pretty stellar. They really, once again, Marvel, kudos to Marvel for knowing how to market the film and make it one way, but the film's actually another way. Because I assumed walking in, it was going to be, I thought that the Doctor Strange film was going to be the fallout for what happened in Spider-Man.
I get what you're saying.
Doctor Strange. And he would get Wanda's help to deal with the threat from whatever he was doing in the multiverse or whatever coming from what he did by messing with the spells, multiverse, whatnot, yada, yada.
Right.
Marvel said, "Nah, fam, we ain't doing that. We doing this." Wanda's the villain.
Right. Exactly.
She's the big bad, and she's the antagonist. It threw me for a loop in the beginning of the movie. Another cool thing about this movie, hit the ground running right off the bat.
Yeah, that's one thing I dug more than anything. It hit the ground running, but not only just that, I do remember from when it was originally announced that the first director they had in mind was Scott Derrickson. And for those of y'all who don't know Scott Derrickson, he's popular in the horror film community. I'm sorry, I forgot the daggone name already of the movies they did. And one of them starred Ethan Hawke. It was kind of almost along the line of Insidious, and I apologize for my horror film peeps, but I forgot about it. If anybody can help me, just put the comment on there. I appreciate it. But Scott Derrickson was the original director in mind. But I guess in terms of, creative differences or whatever, he opted out. That's when they reached out to the horror master icon, or just film icon in general himself, cult film icon, I should say, filmmaker, Mr. Sam Raimi, who we all know and love from the Spider-Man trilogy, the original Spider-Man trilogy, I should say, in addition to the very popular Evil Dead series of films. Yeah. So with Sam Raimi's, just magic that he puts on screen like that, what did you take overall in terms of what you saw visually?
Great. I think his style, the way he shot it, his flair, really make this movie. And it's not like any other Marvel film. If you've seen, if you're one of those people that got, well, I have Marvel fatigue and they're all the same. Well, this is totally different.
Yeah, it's absolutely totally.
I looked at Chauncey in the film, was like, fam, this is like a horror movie.
And see, that's the beauty of it. It's like you get different variations with Marvel. Like, we've heard boohoo complaints about WandaVision, how it wasn't enough action packed, where it was like it's a slow burn type of series. You got to give it time. The same thing with something, say, like Loki, where, it was kind of sort of all over the place. But with those two shows, you get inklings of what, we may or may not have expected when we got to Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. And shout out to our boy Jay Washington, who he and I, we've discussed one-on-one about some of the stuff of the wood and cuts that happen in this movie. It's basically, like we just said, it's an unlikely horror movie in so many ways of the word. But with the happenings that were supposed to take place in, say, WandaVision, we were supposed to get this. But due to, fortunate situations known as COVID, this got pushed back. So I know people are going to be kind of like out of place on certain timeline things or whatever like that in terms of watching the movies, but yet and still with the performances, the storytelling, and everything like that, you won't get too thrown off because it's still kind of closely put together between everything that happened WandaVision wise, Loki wise, and what we got here in Multiverse of Madness.
Now, let me ask you this, Chauncey.
Okay.
Because I may be biased. I'm a big fat nerd. I watch everything. Do you feel like if someone has not watched WandaVision will watch this film and still get it, or is WandaVision would it help that they have to watch WandaVision to get the context?
I feel like, especially with the iteration of how Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch has been portrayed, especially in this movie, I think WandaVision is a definite must because you've seen the evolution of this character. And once again, Jay Washington and I, we've had a recent discussion about this, how people got to pay attention to these type of things because keep in mind, Age of Ultron, she was working for Hydra. She put some little weird spell on Tony Stark, had him hallucinating, seeing, the end of the Avengers and stuff like that. Then, was working with Ultron, her and her brother. Then, of course, fast forward through half of the movie, they kind of had a change of heart after, realizing what they were doing were wrong, bogus. Of course, it took good old Hawkeye to kind of talk them out of it. And then once she witnessed the murder of her brother, that's when you see the first glimpse of, that rage that happened. Then when you proceed on to other movies like Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, you see the progression of this character go about. And then with WandaVision, it's pretty much the overall aftermath of everything that she's been through. Because, like I said, she lost her brother.
Yeah.
She gained, the unlikely love of her life in Vision. Then she lost that love of her life courtesy of everybody's favorite big bad, Thanos.
Right.
And then with this show, WandaVision.
Twice, actually.
Yeah, twice. So, with WandaVision, it created the ultimate aftermath, the after effects of what has transcended her from being just Wanda Maximoff, person with such, unimaginable, unlimited power, to becoming this entity known as a Scarlet Witch, where, she took all her rage, all her heartbreak, all her, just frustration of why she can't have anything good in her life, to just, lash out. So that's why I think WandaVision is a perfect prequel to Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
So, and then kind of like basically when we just talk about her, just big bad, we also have just other favorites involved as a movie. Also, of course, you and I and a couple of others, big time fan of Benedict Wong, aka Wong,
because he's always Wong. Wong is a G. Y'all look at me. Y'all put respect on Wong name.
Right. Because it's like he's not only just a comic relief, but he's that true voice of reason that sets Stephen Strange straight. He's like, hey man, you ain't supposed to be doing this. I help you out, but damn it, you gotta stop doing stuff. You gotta stop being selfish, man.
Like towards the end of the movie, when Zombie Strange came up, he was like, I don't want to
know. Right.
So that was great. Wong is awesome. I wanna go karaoke singing with Wong in Shang-Chi.
hey, like I said, I would love to do for Disney do a side story where you have Wong, Jimmy Woo,
that's my good.
Who else? My man's from Eternals, Patel.
Yeah,
the video guy.
I really liked him from Eternals. Yeah,
right. Him and say they run into somebody like Turk Barrett or something like that. Just some off the wall, crazy, hilarious. That's what I want, man. It's like Turk Barrett,
we're safe.
Right. He's like, man, I don't know nothing about no like shoe voodoo type stuff.
I'm going back to the street where I come from, where it's safe.
Right.
Turk Barrett have a heart attack.
Oh yeah. That'd be something else. We saw some other favorites also from the first movie. We got Mr. Chiwetel Ejiofor reprising his role as Mordo, or should I say variant of Mordo.
Yeah. Curious thing about him was like I really figured after the first film, the second film was going to be about him and the fallout, what happened in the first film.
And that's what we were thinking of at first.
He's going to be dealing with the wizards. So my question is, well, we see Mordo in this film, but that's from another universe.
Right.
Where is 616 Mordo? What is he doing? Why haven't we seen him? And what's going on?
Exactly. And once again, folks, spoiler review, by the way. So basically what we've come across in this movie is that our reality, where we recognize all the Avengers, Spider-Man, Guardians, etc., we are considered the 616 dimension or Earth, or what have you.
Right.
Whereas the Mordo that we witness in this movie is of the 838, where he meets the Illuminati and this different Mordo, where it's like he seems like he's cool, but he's not too different from the Mordo that we've come across.
Yeah, I kind of think that he's like the same, but just like he's a little more chill, maybe.
Right, exactly. So that's something I found interesting. Miss Rachel McAdams, she reprises her role as the first movie. Now, a lot of people kind of tripped out because her character basically gets married. And, Doctor Strange, after he does what he does per his usual, when he's not saving the world or whatever through magic, he goes to her wedding, basically.
Right.
And what tripped out a lot of people was, she ended up marrying a brother. So it's like, hey, that's the world. Hey, it is what it is,
And again, who cares?
Right. It don't matter either way. But, people still kind of find it funny every now and then.
I found it funny. He was a fan of Doctor Strange.
That was really the funny part. That was the funny part more than anything. It's like, okay, so my ex is getting married and her new husband's big time fan of me. Yeah. Super awkward. Yeah, so that was just really wild and tripped out. Check out on that. In terms of some of like the action, what was some of your favorite action set pieces going on through this?
I have to think about it because it was so much.
Mm-hmm.
It was done so well. Because, like I
Right.
said, the movie literally hits the ground running.
Yeah.
And it's like, not that it's nonstop action, but it's so many things happen and they do it in a really, they pace it well, but a
Right.
lot of things are going on. The one that stuck out for me was like, I did like the little G move Doc Strange did when Gargantos attacked New York.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
That was kind of cool. That the sequence when they attack when the Wanda comes to attack all the wizards to try to get
Okay.
Chavez.
Kermitage.
Kumatage, yeah, we got to talk about Chavez later. And my number one is that Illuminati battle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just the whole sequence with the Illuminati stuff was just something else. It was it was cool to see everybody at first, but then you didn't expect everybody to get murked. Like
did not see none of that coming.
Yeah. One of the most famous, or should I say infamous words. Reed Richards tells Wanda or Scarlet Witch or whatever, it's like, Black Bolt could kill you with just one whisper, right? And then she's like, with what mouth? You see my man have no mouth, even when he tries with all his might to try to say something.
I think he just uttered something and killed himself.
Right. He like instantly blows his own brains out. I'm like,
yeah.
You turn Reed Richards into like human stringy putty or whatever like that.
And popped his brain. It was crazy. Right. It was so crazy, but awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
cut Captain Carter in half.
Darth Maulder with her own shield. And then just basically made Captain Marvel crash and throw a big old statue on her and just like, boom. And then while trying to pursue Strange and America Chavez and Rachel, she's like going through stuff like Terminator style, like just ripping doors apart. I'm like,
I mean, even the attack on Carmitage, like she was, I thought it was cool in the beginning, but they had the shield put up.
Yeah.
She couldn't get through. She had to mentally attack people,
right,
to get through the barrier, and then still coming at them. Doc Strange put her in the Mirrorverse.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And how she got out was even crazier.
Yes, it was. It just comes to show you how Squires kept Scarlet Witch pretty much MCU-wise is the most powerful Avenger.
Yeah, she's the most powerful character.
Yeah. So, all that talk of people trying to hike up Carol Danvers and stuff like that is like, nah.
I have thoughts about that, but we'll take that for another video. But yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, after seeing this, it's definitely Wanda for sure. But like, kind of reversing back a little bit, when it comes to Doctor Strange overall, he's probably one of the few Marvel characters that I have the most knowledge of. I mean, I remember seeing him over the years through the books and stuff like that. My older brother used to collect back in the day. I remember, his brief appearances in like anime stuff. I remember he was on an episode of Spider-Man's Amazing Friends.
Right.
Then when it came to the 90s version of Spider-Man, he popped up in there. And then I know they did an animated movie one.
Right.
Doctor Strange.
The OVA animated. When Marvel doing their animated films.
Right.
Video, they did one. It was all right.
Mm-hmm. So, I got like brief little knowledge or whatever when it comes to Doctor Strange, but I heard, based off some of the stuff he's been through and then dealt with is like, he's a formidable ally and maybe sometimes adversary, depending on how you look upon him as.
Right.
Because, of course, one of the things that we most enjoy in regards to Doctor Strange is, just his banter and, his, shall I say, his interactions with various characters we know and love. Like, of course, we will never get enough of him and Tony Stark. Just
I look forward to that so much. I still want it. I think they could have gave us more because
yeah.
when me first saw the first Doctor Strange,
Mm-hmm.
what first thing I said to you when the movie was over with?
This is just Tony Stark, but with magic.
Well, not that. It's like, can you imagine the banter between him and Tony? They are not.
Oh yeah. They were butting heads like crazy, and we saw like all that and then some in Infinity War. It was like
Steven was not nice. He's not.
Nah, he was like
out of a jerk. That's what gives him his appeal. Where Tony's kind of a lovable jerk. He's
right.
like. He's a jerk, but you love him because of jokes and whatnot. They're like playful stabs. Steven was kind of arrogant and not very nice about stuff and very blunt. That's what he was on, and he's still kind of like that. He's kind of warming up people now. He's become a superhero, but before, no, sir.
Right, exactly.
Like, dude,
and then like even with like the thing, yeah, and then like of course with him and Spider-Man, which we saw on No Way Home. There's kind of like almost a surrogate big brother vibe, but not as much as it was with like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He was kind of like the reluctant surrogate big brother, and he was like, "Okay, dude, I'll help you, but you need to not do things when I tell you not to do them. Otherwise, you'll mess everything up." And of course, we all saw how everything went when it came to that.
But really, I think I liked all his interactions with other characters. My other favorite with him and Thor and Loki. I thought that
I would like a little bit more of that, especially if like him and that's one thing I wanted to mention on that too. Are you kind of surprised or not surprised that they tried they didn't add Loki into this in some way or fashion? You think it would have been overkill?
I thought they would, and they didn't. And I think that would have been over. I think Marvel. I have to give Marvel a lot more props. How do you think things through? Because if they just gave us fan service and throw out who we want to see,
right? These
films would suffer, and it becomes a big fan service fest. And we even learned even via Star Wars, you can't do that too much. That will harms the art. So they can offer that to us, but in small doses. Like when this film was coming out, Chauncey, we heard like a million rumors of who's going to show up. They said like Ben Affleck, Daredevil was going to show up. They said Ghost Rider from the old movie is going to show up. They
said Deadpool was going to show up.
It was so many Deadpool rumors going to show up. It was going to be Tom Cruise. They
said Chris Evans was going to show up as Human Torch.
Right, Chris Evans was going to show up as Human Torch. There was talk that I didn't believe in the first place. There was a rumor going on saying going to be more Marvel characters in this film than Endgame. I'm like, yeah, right.
Right. That would have been way too much.
Sure enough, been too much. Yeah. But Marvel was like, no, we'll give you something, but you do have to learn these characters and this story. And also just introduce some new characters on top of that. And still tell a story. Same thing with Moon Knight. I think cutting down the cameos, saving them for just certain times, special moments, or certain movies, works in their favor. Because I think same thing again with Moon Knight and Loki and all this other stuff. A character appearance here and there is fine, but if you have another big character show up at the end, depending on the story, it may take away from it.
Right, and I get you with that. And then again, come to think about it too. It kind of sort of wouldn't made half sense if Loki show up, only because if we remember from Endgame with the whole, Infinity Gem heist situation, when they traveled back to 2012, they came across that Loki. And this is which kicks off the Loki series, because that Loki runs into the TVA, as we know, and he finds out anything that's about to happen to him in the future. And then, of course, he goes on his world, time-wide or space-wide quest on trying to prevent that. But then again, too, that, world took away, like you said. And I think, and me and Jay also had this commentary before about how I think we've gotten to a point where we need to just enjoy the ride. We gotta stop speculating, and it's all right to have fan theories here and there, but when you gotta have it so consistently to a point where it's like you can barely you're not gonna be able to enjoy it. What we watch because you want to figure out so much stuff right now, and it's
That's
like
why I told people with the trailer. I said, guys, stop looking at the trailer piece by piece and frame by
right.
frame, and they're almost writing the movie in your head from the trailer. Same
Mm-hmm.
with Spider-Man. Like, no, man, this scene is so-and-so character. This Daredevil right here, that's his elbow. And this scene right here is going to be Mephisto. That's his shoulder. It's like, guys, stop.
like prime example with Morbius,
No.
how people peeped out Spider-Man in the background and saying murderer on there. It's like, oh, that must be PS4 Spider-Man, blah blah blah. I'm like, you don't know what that is. It's just
My guess was going to be Tobey Maguire Spider-Man had that suit on, but I still was very judged until I saw it. But I was like, I've stopped. I no longer do look at a trailer, take it away piece by piece, and guesstimate what's going to happen. Because you see, Marvel will send you a curveball, and it won't be what you think it is. And I think Marvel's biggest opponent right now, and their biggest problem they have to not that only they can tackle. I don't think they can tackle it or not, but their biggest adversary in the MCU is fan expectation.
Yes.
They can just never be, because for some reason, some Marvel fans either A, write these movies in their head what they think is going to be, or two, speculate and guesstimate who they think going to be in the film, or three, they write the film in their head who they think is going to show up. When they don't do that, they get mad and say the movie sucks.
Yeah, and see, again, we just gotta get back to this point of just going ahead and enjoying the ride for what it is. Stop trying to consistently figure it out. Stop trying to outdo each other online, talking about, oh, I figured this out. They wouldn't have known I figured this out. And it's like, it ain't a pissing contest on who's got the best fan theory. Just enjoy the movie, enjoy the ride. Simple as that.
Yeah, and let them create the story and tell the story, let the characters grow and move. It's not be a big, action fest, fan fest, a big, fan servicey thing. They do give us fan service. They do it in a good way. They give it to us in doses.
Right.
I think that was the problem with Star Wars, not to switch off from Marvel, but that hurt one of their shows because of fan service stuff. Another character had to come in for another character show to help that show.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. And speaking of characters coming in, kind of jumping back on Multiverse of Madness, I would have never ever thought to see Charlize Theron be involved in this.
Yeah, his future wife.
Right. So yeah, we have this character named Clea that is portrayed by Miss Charlize Theron, who is of Fast Family fame. Now she got another franchise on her hands, in addition to being an executive producer, I guess, of the upcoming Aqualad series. She's appearing as an MCU as Clea, who, what Corey just mentioned, as I've read as well, is going to be the future wife / love interest of Dr. Stephen Strange. So
now in the comic, I think she's Dormammu's niece.
And that would be crazy. That would be crazy to play out in the movie.
They may change the MCU, but they do look like they go into the dark dimension.
And that was another thing that me and Jay talked about, especially where the whole thing of him crossing into the Sinister realm and then coming across Sinister Strange and the whole legit third eye thing.
That reminds me. Yeah. I forgot about that sequence to talk about. The music sequence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, they were fighting with musical notes.
I was like,
with the score to the film.
Right. I was like, that's something else.
Yeah.
And speaking of score of film, it's always amazing to me how we talk about how certain composers work so well with directors. I think Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman are a perfect blend. And of course, if you follow both their careers, they've worked together more than once. I remember Danny Elfman doing the score for Darkman, which was a Sam Raimi movie. I remember him doing, some other stuff, especially in the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah, the movie Batman '89, that little film there.
Right. So it's like Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman are truly a perfect blend in terms of what they can bring on screen, and it's just It's off the chain. I'm glad they got together and did this. One last character I did want to come across. What's your overall feeling of the America Chavez character?
I liked her a lot. The little time we had with her.
Right.
I know Marvel's already not teasing, but we see almost every member now. I'm waiting on Marvel to pull the trigger or whatever they're going to do in the future because I don't know what their plans are. These actors are not going to be young forever. They're pretty much teasing us young Avengers.
Right.
We've seen at least one young Avenger movie, either every other show or film is popped up with a young Avenger member. So she's a member of Young Avengers. So it's cool that she ends off, training with the wizards and learning how to be, a sorcerer like Strange, and try to control her power and her jumping between universes. Yeah, I end up liking her a lot, man. And I like that Strange becoming this mentor figure, and I like the arc that Strange has been on, that the path that the Ancient One put him on. Way back in Doctor Strange #1 and told him everything is not about you.
Right.
You see how much he's tried to help people and look at the results, the best that he could to help and did what he did. And I like the fact that they didn't stop Wanda with brute force. They had pretty much show her the error of her ways.
Right, exactly.
And it took America to help her show that with Stephen's help. It was not just beat her in a fist fight.
Right. And speaking of helping with America era of ways, we also got to mention this. And it was great to see Patrick Stewart and all the Professor X's glory and stuff like that we know and love, especially from the Saturday morning animated series. But why Wanda had to snap my man's neck? Why? What Patrick Stewart do to you, woman?
That was bogus. What? Why you do Charles like that, man? Now we mention this, the end of the film.
Yeah.
When we saw the movie, I was dumbfounded, like, what's going to happen next?
Exactly.
After letting it marinate, it dawned on me what's probably going to happen next.
All right. So
this film's going to kick off. To me, this is my theory. I could be right on the money, or I could be dead wrong. This is going to kick off Secret War. Because, so in this 8th universe, it looks like the world is a much better spot than we are in 616. Where you have the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans, all, everything semi-kumbaya and whatnot. These are their greatest heroes, greatest leaders. A version of Wanda now killed all of them. And it wasn't even their Wanda, the Wanda from our universe.
Right.
Though there are people going to want to get to the bottom of that, like what the hell happened, where they've all been murdered.
Right.
And I kind of feel like that universe will go to war with the 616.
There will be something.
Or that may tie in with Loki. I don't know. I could be right on the money, but I could be way off. They could do something even bigger than that. But there's still stuff to deal with What If with Vision Ultron, Infinity Stones and whatnot, and Killmonger and that other version of Doctor Strange. I don't know what they're going to do. That's my guess, because I kind of feel like that they may want to do a story where people at 8th was like, someone has to be responsible for this. We're going to get responsible for it.
Right.
But I don't know. Time will tell. But that's my guess. This will kick off the multiverse war. But that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know when that will take place. I have to see what they're going to do with Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Because thankfully and gladly, Mr. Cumberbatch said he wouldn't mind playing Doctor Strange up until the next decade, which is pretty awesome. But he says for right now, he wants to take a little bit of a break, which he deserves.
He deserves it, yeah.
Because the man has put in work in and outside the MCU or what have you. So, I mean, overall, this is a pretty enjoyable watch. For those who have yet to see it, again, if you didn't see it, shouldn't be watching this video. But hey, proceed with caution. It is what it is. But anyhow, this was another enjoyable MCU movie. Definitely am recommending this by all means. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Stephen Strange does next in the MCU, along with other characters also. So as of right now, this is pretty much the end of this video, what have you. If you want to tell people where you can reach you at and let you know what you got cooking up.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, CG_Sonic Boom. I'm also on Instagram. You can try to follow me on Instagram. Just look up Corey Green on Instagram and you'll find me. In the pipeline, not a whole lot just yet. I'll probably go back and do some game streaming relatively soon. I just finished a big comic book project. Took me a while to do. I took some time off from streaming to work on that, so look for that. Also look for that comic book project I'm talking about with me and Joe McPhee for his Amazonia book. You'll see a Kickstarter on that. I'll probably be promoting that on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me there and also on Twitch. Where I do my game streaming. I'll do my fighting game stuff. I'm trying to go back to my other games like Ghost of Tsushima and some other surprises. I'm gonna try to do one more streaming for video games and do some more toy stuff for Instagram. So all you toy aficionados, especially my Transformers fans like me, do some more toy videos in the near future. Check out for that. And that's pretty much it I have for now.
Sounds good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can reach myself at Chauncey C. Woodson on Facebook. You can reach me at CCW_78 on Instagram. You can reach me on Chauncey_Prime on Twitter. And last but certainly not least, you can reach me on Chauncey Vision. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on the Facebook page, it's CHAUNCI Vision. Like I said, trying to make it a little more simpler, a little bit more workable, but it's the same old energy, same old fun, same old cool chats like I had with this man here and many others. And I'm going to have this man on. We're going to talk about multitude of things in the near future, various wise in terms of stuff that we've watched over time. I'm going to include many others as well. And definitely want to get the movie talk, going. Just put out a little more positive, fun energy out there. Doing what we do or whatever. But for those who have watched and checked this out, thank you, appreciate you, and enjoy your Taco Tuesday. I know I already did, but do what it do. 2 fingers salute, folks.
Later, guys.